My wife lied about our son. Now she's calling me a traitor. I never thought I'd be the guy posting something like this. My life felt so normal, even happy. I had a beautiful wife, Emma, and an 8-year-old son who I thought was my entire world. But now, I'm sitting here questioning everything I thought I knew about my family and my marriage. 2 weeks ago, I found out my son isn't biologically mine. And it's not even the fact itself that's destroying me. It's the lies behind it. The DNA test that changed everything. For my birthday last month, my brother gave me one of those DNA test kits. He thought it would be fun, and honestly, so did I. My family has always been into genealogy, so I figured it'd be cool to learn more about my ancestry. I decided to get one for my son too, a fun little father-son bonding activity. We compare results, maybe find out some quirky facts about our heritage. A couple of weeks later, the results came in. At first, I didn't notice anything weird. I was too busy scrolling through my own family history. But then I checked my son's results, and something was off. There was no match between us. At first, I thought it was just a glitch. These things aren't 100% accurate, right? But the more I looked, the more I realized it wasn't just some technical error. There was zero shared DNA between us. Zero. I sat there staring at the screen, my mind racing. Maybe they mixed up the samples. Maybe there was a mistake in the testing process. I wanted to believe anything but the obvious explanation. Because if this was true, if this was real, it meant my son wasn't biologically mine. Telling Emma. I didn't say anything to my wife right away. I didn't know how to bring it up. For 2 days, I kept it to myself, trying to figure out what the hell I was supposed to do. But every time I looked at my son, I felt this knot in my stomach. How could I pretend nothing had changed when my whole world was crumbling inside? Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. One night, after we put our son to bed, I sat Emma down and told her about the DNA test. I tried to keep it calm and rational, but my voice cracked when I told her the results didn't make sense. I expected her to be as shocked as I was. I expected her to say, "That's crazy, let's figure this out." But she didn't. At first, she just stared at me. Then she let out this nervous laugh, like she was trying to play it off. She said something about how those tests aren't always accurate, and maybe I shouldn't take it so seriously. But I wasn't buying it. Her reaction felt off, like she was scrambling to come up with an explanation, but couldn't quite find the words. So I pressed her. I told her this wasn't something we could just shrug off. I asked her point blank, "Is there something you're not telling me?" That's when she broke. She started crying, full-on sobbing, and I felt my stomach drop. She kept saying, "I didn't know how to tell you. I was scared you'd leave me." It took her almost 10 minutes to get the words out. But when she finally did, it felt like the floor had been ripped out from under me. She told me our son isn't mine. He's her ex-boyfriend's. I didn't even know what to say. My head was spinning. I asked her when this happened, how it happened, why she never told me. She explained that when we first started dating, she and her ex had only been broken up for a couple of months. She found out she was pregnant right after we got serious, and instead of telling me the truth, she made the decision to pass the baby off as mine. Her exact words were, "I knew you'd make a better dad than he ever would. I didn't want to lose you." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She lied to me for 8 years. She let me believe this child was mine. She let me build my life around him, around us, without ever giving me the choice to know the truth. And what about my son? He has no idea. He spent his entire life thinking I'm his dad. I felt sick. I still feel sick. Part of me wanted to scream at her, but another part just felt completely numb. I walked out of the room without saying a word and spent the rest of the night sitting in my car, trying to process everything. What do I do now? For the past 2 weeks, I've been cycling through every possible emotion: anger, sadness, betrayal. I keep replaying moments from the past 8 years in my head, wondering if there were signs I missed. Did she ever slip up? Did she ever feel guilty? And what am I supposed to do now? The thing is, I love my son. He might not be my blood, but he's still my son in every way that matters. I was there when he took his first steps. I was there when he said his first words. I taught him how to ride a bike. I've been at every school play, every soccer game. He's my little boy. But now, I can't stop wondering, does that change anything? Should it? And then there's Emma. I don't know if I can ever look at her the same way again. She lied to me about something so fundamental, something that affects the very foundation of our family. How do you come back from that? Can you come back from that? I haven't told anyone yet. Not my friends. Not my family. I feel like if I say it out loud, it makes it real, and I'm not ready for that. And I don't even know if I should tell my son. Should he know? Does he deserve to know? Or will we just hurt him more than it helps? The worst part is, I don't think this is the whole truth. Something about the way Emma reacted makes me think there's more she's not telling me. But I don't even know if I'm ready to dig any deeper. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out what to do next. The moment I knew, I had to act. Then one day, I overheard Emma talking to our son in his room. She had no idea I was standing outside the door listening. She was saying things like, sometimes dads get mad when kids aren't perfect. And it's okay if your dad doesn't love you as much as he used to. I'll always love you, no matter what. I felt like I was going to explode. How could she say something like that to an 8-year-old? She was planting these awful ideas in his head, making him think I didn't love him anymore. And for what? To punish me for finding out the truth? To protect herself? When I confronted her about it, she finally dropped the act. She didn't deny it this time. Instead, she doubled down. You're the one who's ruining everything, she snapped. You're the one obsessed with this DNA stuff. Do you think he'd be better off knowing the truth? You're going to destroy him. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She was acting like she was the victim, like I was the bad guy for wanting honesty. I told her what she was doing was manipulative and cruel, but she just laughed. You don't understand, she said. You don't know what it's like to be a mother. I'm doing what's best for him. At that moment, I realized something chilling. I needed to protect my son, not just from the truth, but from her. Damage control. From then on, I was careful. Every interaction I had with my son, I made sure he knew how much I loved him. I told him every single day how proud I was of him, how lucky I was to be his dad. I refused to let Emma poison our bond. At the same time, I started documenting everything. I recorded our arguments. I saved every manipulative text she sent me. I took notes on what she said to our son. I didn't know what I was going to do with all of it yet, but deep down I knew I might need it for court. But then things took an even darker turn. The moment she went too far. One day, my son came home from school looking upset. I asked him what was wrong, and at first, he didn't want to tell me. But after some coaxing, he finally said it. Mom said you don't want to be my dad anymore. My heart dropped. I asked him why he thought that. She said you're mad because I'm not really your son. Is that true? I swear, I almost started crying right there. I took his hands in mine and looked him straight in the eyes. Listen to me, I told him. You are my son. You'll always be my son. Nothing in the world could ever change that. I hugged him as tightly as I could, and for a moment, he believed me. But the damage was done. Emma had crossed a line I didn't even know existed. She had used the one thing I feared the most, my son finding out the truth, and twisted it to turn him against me. And the thing is, I don't even think she cared about how it was affecting him. She was so focused on hurting me that she didn't realize, or didn't care, that she was hurting him too. The last straw. At this point, I didn't know what to do anymore. Part of me wanted to fight her with everything I had, to expose her lies and make sure my son knew the truth. But another part of me was terrified. What would that truth do to him? He's only 8 years old. He doesn't deserve to be caught in the middle of this mess. But after everything she did, lying to me, manipulating our son, I knew one thing. I couldn't just sit back and let her control the narrative. I started digging. I couldn't shake the feeling that Emma's reaction to the DNA test had been too defensive, too angry, like she was trying to protect something bigger than just the lie she told me. So, I did something I never thought I'd do. I hired a private investigator. At first, I felt guilty even considering it. This was the woman I had loved for over a decade, the mother of my child, or at least the child I had raised as my own. But after everything she had done, I knew one thing for sure. I couldn't trust her, and I needed the truth. Not just for me, for my son. The truth I never saw coming. The investigators started digging into Emma's past, specifically around the time we first started dating. I told them about her ex, Daniel, the man she admitted was my son's biological father. I wanted to know if he was still in the picture, if she'd been in contact with him all these years. What the investigator found, it blew my mind. First, he confirmed that Emma had been in contact with Daniel. For years. She had been messaging him all along, sending him pictures of our son, updating him on his milestones. But here's the kicker. Daniel had no idea he was the father. Emma never told him. In every message, she referred to our son as my boy, acting like Daniel was just some old friend she was catching up with. I couldn't wrap my head around it. Why would she stay in touch with him? Why send him pictures? Why keep him in the loop, but never tell him the truth? And then the question hit me like a freight train. Was she planning to tell him? Was she keeping him on the sidelines as some kind of backup plan? But that wasn't even the biggest bombshell. The investigator found something else. Something Emma had never told me before. Before Emma and I started dating, she and Daniel had been married. Not just dating. Married. It was a short-lived marriage, only about a year. But still, it was long enough for it to matter. She never mentioned this to me. Not in all the years we'd been together. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room when I heard that. I mean, think about it. She let me believe Daniel was just some random ex-boyfriend from her past. She conveniently left out the part where he was actually her ex-husband. But wait, it gets worse. The reason their marriage ended? Emma cheated on him. The investigator found court records showing that Daniel filed for an annulment, citing infidelity. I couldn't believe it. I thought I knew her. I thought I understood who she was. But this was a side of her I never imagined. Well, I confronted her about everything. She lost it. She called me a traitor for digging into her past, for dragging Daniel into this. But here's the thing. I wasn't trying to ruin anything. I just wanted the truth. And now, Daniel deserves to know it too. So, I made a decision. I reached out to Daniel. Final update. The truth comes out. I couldn't keep this secret for Emma. Not when it involved something as important as his own child. When I met Daniel, he was shocked. He had no idea Emma had been lying to him all these years. He said he always wondered why she cut him out of her life so abruptly, but he never imagined it was because she was hiding a child. He was furious, but not at me, at her. Now Daniel wants to be part of his son's life, and honestly, I think that's a good thing. My son deserves to know where he comes from, and Daniel deserves a chance to be a father. But I know this is going to turn my world upside down even more. Emma, of course, is livid. She's calling me a traitor, saying I've ruined everything. But you know what? I don't care anymore. She lied to me. She lied to Daniel. And she lied to our son. She's been trying to control everything for years, and now it's all falling apart. I've already talked to a lawyer about custody, and I'm prepared to fight for my son if it comes to that. Because no matter what, I'm not walking away from him. He's my son, blood or not, and I'll do whatever it takes to protect him. And Emma? She can keep screaming, keep blaming me, keep pretending she's the victim. But the truth is out now. Her lies don't control us anymore. Did you enjoy the story? Want more? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more wild and unhinged Reddit stories. Your support means a lot and helps my channel grow.